Namaste, friends. Don't we all, throughout the length and breadth of our lives, aspire to be an excellent human beings? Those type of persons who can really be regarded as a role model for the society. And for that matter, our prayers, our all efforts, our all desires are directed to. Here, I would take you along that through the journey from eternity, starting right from the Vedic times, even the prayers of the human beings to whom we verily call Manushya, the person who can ponder upon, who can reflect upon, who can take the decision, and that decision is based upon certain informed choices. So, such a person, when desires to attain his or her objects, then at that very point of time, there exists a verse in Yajurveda, chapter 30, and verse number is 3, which says, Om Vishwani Deva Savitaruduritani Paraso Yadbhadram Tannayasuv. What does it mean? What does it connotes? It says it beseeches the Almighty that, hey, Ishvara, whatever the good deeds, good qualities, excellent virtues which are available in this universe, those very good deeds, those very good virtues, those very excellent conducts should become part of my personality. Whatever I do, whatever I think, whatever I perform is reflected in those very things that I become, in a sense, epitome of those very virtues, because all the things which I desire that those very things should happen to me, I should myself become able to do those very things, deeds and acts with others for the betterment of the humanity as a whole. So a prayer is being made to the Lord Almighty that under these very circumstances, whatever good virtues, whatever excellent virtues, whatever excellent qualities are available in this universe, those very qualities, those very virtues must become part of my personality. And simultaneous to the same, it has been besotted out of the wisdom of that very source of wisdom, that is the Almighty Ishvara, by saying that whatever afflictions, whatever the bad qualities, whatever the durit means bad qualities, which has afflicted my personality, my actions, should immediately be gone, be got disassociated from my personality, so that in the process of doing deeds, no evil practice is being practiced through my this body or through my intellect. Even I should not be able to conceive of any evil design to which I may want to subject others to be part of. So under these very circumstances, through this very verse, a daily, which is part of the daily prayer of all the followers of Vedic wisdom, that all the excellent qualities must become part of our life, and all the bad or sinful things which has already afflicted our society, or our body, or to which our body soon becomes to be part of, should be immediately scorned out of our personalities. So, under these very circumstances, even our prayer, both in the morning as well as in the evening session, starts with this commandment which has been contained in the Vedas, and that is not the injunction which has been granted by the God to the human being. No, it's not an injunction, it is a prayer which a human being is seeking or is beseeching from the Almighty Lord. So, under these very circumstances, once we see and once we look upon that the inherent thing in this prayer is that the qualities, the kind of qualities, the effort which is required to be made to attain those very best qualities, and simultaneous effort which is required to be made so that the bad or the evil things should not get associated with my personality, or if due to anything, due to any act or omission, those very things have become part of my personality, then those very things should immediately become dissociated from me, my actions, from my body, from my intellect. So the effort is the chief part. Industry is the chief part of this prayer. Though the prayer has been directed in all its wisdom to the Almighty, but in that very prayer itself, inherent is the aspect of the effort of the industry which is required to be made on the part of the person who is making these prayers. Friends, in this very connection, I am reminded of certain verses which are part of the Hitopadesh, one very excellent treatise in our law is available in the form of a book which is titled as Hitopadesh. So, Hitopadesh, Katharabha, there is a shloka, there is a which is called यथा ह्यकेन चक्रेण न रथस्य गतिर्भवेत् एवं पुरुषकारेण विना दैवम न सिद्ध्यति. This is the 23rd shloka of Hitopadesha Katharambha. It says that as chariot can't move on one wheel alone. Therefore, without hard work, even that very thing which we call as destiny can't bear any fruits. So, the things have been made clear through through various instances in our literature, in our journey of our ancestors, that at any given point of time we should not remain confined to the destiny alone, that whatever is happening, that is happening in order to complete the cycle of a preordained or pre-desired things which the Almighty has for which the Almighty has sent us all to play parts of. No, it's not like that. Almighty has made us free in doing our actions, in doing our deeds, but we are dependent upon the Almighty once those very actions have been performed in order to gain the fruits. So, those very fruits, that is, the fruits of the bad actions, will be in the form of some or the other form of punishment, or the fruits of the good action will be in the form of some or the other form of benefits, which may ultimately lead us to the path of that salvation, which may in the end will help us in getting that very salvation. So, in that very Hitopadesh itself, there is a 26th shloka which says, Kak talye vat praptam drashtvapi nidhi magnatah magratah na swayam devamadatte purushartham pekshate. It says that even by way of sheer luck, treasure is lying on our path, then also we will not be able to take it up because the destiny can't provide it in our hands. Some effort at least is required to be made by that very human being who has chanced upon that very treasure in his path to pick it up, to pick that treasure up. So, under these very circumstances, it has been made clear time and again through various examples that Effort should be made under all circumstances. Only then your destiny, the sheer coincidence, because you have not earned that very treasure, that very person who was walking, who was treading upon that very path, he or she has not earned that very treasure, but chanced upon to have a sight of that treasure. If that very chance has been made available to such a person, then further effort in order to pick that treasure up so as to appropriate it for his or her own use is required to be made on the part of that person. This is the crux of the benefit of the industry or the effort which is required to be made on the part of the human being made clear through these very instances. So, why? What was the need for the writer of this very excellent treatise called Hitopadesh was available at that very point of time to this very person who was writing this very treasure to write such a beautiful things so as to caution the human beings. The reason is that number of persons out of us are preaching that the things are preordained. You, even if you make any effort in order to get or in order to change the course of events, those very efforts won't bear any fruits. Such type of negativity is being broadcasted into society, and such type of negativity ultimately will not benefit the mankind, will not benefit the human race as a whole. So, under these very circumstances, the writer of this very Hitopadesh, in a very beautiful and lucid way, gave such examples so that people may not become over overly dependent upon the part of the destiny for which they are waiting to play for them. So, under these very circumstances, we can even in today's world see that there is a whole lot of industry of experts who will tell our future, give us workarounds, shortcuts, guaranteed results that we would feel like so. Why do we even need to do anything? And they even prescribe certain talismans, certain armbands, and offer us that God, that let us, this is the God. If you will offer such a thing as an offering to this God, then such and such wish of ours will be fulfilled. They will say, okay, do charity to such and such people, to such and such things in such and such manner, and that will bring fruits. And they will ask us to wear certain precious stones, etc. The list is endless. There are so many tricks which are being performed which only end up robbing us in our precious and hard earned money. So the thing is that if such things actually works or actually worked, apart from having only placebo effect, then why won't these sellers themselves use it on them and be happy? Have anybody think about these very things? The answer is in the negative. Otherwise, none of us would have fallen prey to such silly people. And on the other hand, when Vedas itself, when our Vedic wisdom itself is telling us, when our sages, our seers are time and again telling us the effect of the industry, the effort which are required to be made on our part, then under those very circumstances, why we are ignoring those very things and adopting certain things which are not the Vedic way, which is not the way of wisdom. If at all we want to achieve success, then in order to do that very thing, we have to take a measured step. And after taking a measured step, we have to take equally measured next step so as to ultimately achieve those very aims in our life. in our lives. Here, I would like to give you one example that even in Ramayana, Sri Ramchandra is making clear that there is no substitute to hard work. What has been said for destiny is to make you make you worry free from what is beyond your control, not to make you averse to working what is in your control. In Ramayana, Shri Ram defines Deva. Deva is the Sanskrit term for destiny as that which you didn't see coming, didn't plan for, was not anticipated, and you have no control over, which means it is the totally unknown factor over which you have no control, that you need not worry since you can't do anything about it. So it is not anything that you can see, plan for, and have control over. So, in a very, very excellent way, Shri Ram has given the description of that very destiny and has stated that leave that aside, make your own efforts, and ultimately the victory will be on your side. We have seen the life cycle of Shri Rama, and when Shri Ramchandra was put into such a great misery or such a great kind of miserable and pitiable condition, then also Shri Ram did not lose heart, and on the contrary, by leaving that very situation aside, Shri Ramchandra at that very point of time made an excellent effort at forming an army, getting to know about the nuances of the tricks of his enemy, and ultimately was able to redeem the honor of mankind by liberating his wife from the clutches of Ravan, who was adamant enough in his power play not to let her go back to her husband. So, under those very circumstances, the deeds of Shri Rama, Shri Ramchandra, are itself giving us that very kind of motivation that we should not become slave of destiny. On the other hand, we should try to master the process of industry in order to attain success in our respective lives. Here in Hitopadesha, there is 27th shloka, which is quite dear to my heart. So I would like to share the wisdom which is being contained thereat. It says, Udyamen hi siddhyanti karyani na manoratha nahi suptasya singhasya pravishanti mukhe mriga. It says that the work is only being accomplished through the process of efforts, through the process of marvelous industry, and not merely by wishing that it should be done and lo and behold, it has been done. No, it's not the way. It says that the work could only be performed only through the marvelous and excellent process of putting industry into motion on your part. And in the second line of this very shloka, it has been stated that nahi suptasya singhasya pravishanti mukhe mriga, that even the animals or the food doesn't enter into the mouth of a lion who is not at all making any effort but is lying standstill on the floor and is sleeping at that very point of time. That is, in a way, it has been shown that even the lion, in order to fill his belly, is required to make an effort to get on that very mrig, that very animal, so that it may turn out to be a good food for that very lion. So, under these very circumstances, the effort which is required to be made on the part of human beings has been made clear in this very Hitopadesha. In Hitopadesha, And as we learn the different aspects which have been stated thereat, which have been narrated thereat, which have been explained thereat, our determination, our grit for making effort in spite of the adverse form of destiny, to which we say that the things are not under our control, in spite of those very things, when we will be making those very efforts, then under such circumstances, the day will not be far away when we all will reach that very situation, in that very situation, and we will find in that very situation that everything will become the part of our wish, because we will be able to make those very efforts so as to bring the desired results. Here, friends, this was the thing which I have extracted out from our common past. I have, just like you, surfed the net around and I got a story which has been stated in in one corner of the net. And the story runs like that. A person went to witness a local football match in a playing ground of the local school. There, when he sat down, he asked one of the boys, because the match was already in its currency, that what the score was. With a smile, that boy replied to that very chap that they are leading us 3 is to 0. That is, they have made 3 goals against us, and we are not able, and our team is not able to make even a single goal against them. Then that very man said that you are still you are smiling. You don't look discouraged to me. Then that boy gave him a puzzled look, and that boy retorted, discouraged for what? Then that boy said to that very person, why should I be discouraged when the referee has not blown the final whistle? I have confidence in my team and the managers of my team. We will definitely overcome that very difficulty. And that man has recorded that truly, to the faith of that very boy, the match ended 5 is to 4 in favor of the team to which the boy was supporting. Then, in the end, he said that when the match was finished and everybody was leaving, then that boy, before leaving, waved at him gently with a beautiful smile. And then that person said that it amazed him. His mouth was wide open because such a confidence was exuberated by that very boy. And then, when he returned home, that person put a question to himself, that why should I also be feeling discouraged when the referee has not blown the final whistle? Similarly, life is just like a game. Why should we feeling discouraged when the life is still on, when the process of life is still on? Then the truth which is there, and what that truth is, when we put our shoes down, when we put our head down, when the life is still there, brimming, and at that very point of time, out of this very regret, out of this very discouragement, we stop making effort, then it means that instead of the referee, that is the Almighty, or the circumstances, we have ourselves blown that very whistle and stopped the match abruptly. Then we met with failure. There is no other way than to embrace that very failure at that very point of time. And in embracing that very failure, we may see that the entire process will just get finished, and we will feel like as if there is nothing left in our lives. So under these very circumstances, the moral of the story is that we under no circumstance should give up hope until and unless the process of life itself has come to a closure. So, under these very circumstances, as we all know, that God, that is the Almighty, helps those who help themselves. And how He helps? He helps by giving them intelligence so that they may devise out certain ways, certain things, they may take or chart out certain paths so as to achieve success in their lives. We may make our future by using that very intelligence and by making the industry in order to achieve that very end result. So, I'm closing this discussion at this very moment. So, we will meet again. Thank you very much for giving me patient hearing. I hope that whatever I had conveyed or discussed with you, all of us, including myself and including yourselves, will gain it by applying it in our respective lives. Till then, namaste.